This video is about how to solve a system by graphing it. So essentially a system is two equations or more that you solve at the same time. So we are going to show you two equations and you're going to graph both equations to try to figure out what the solution is. Now, if you graph two equations, let's say we graph the first line, then we graph the other line, where they cross is going to be your solution. Okay? So if your lines cross one time, you have a solution. If your lines never cross, you have no solution. And if your lines are directly on top of each other, you have infinite solutions. So let's look at the first example. We have two equations here. Each equation is going to make a line. So the top equation I'm going to do in a red pen. Okay, so I'm starting with my y-intercept, which is -1. And now I need to count my slope, which is going to be -5/1, which means I'm going to go down 5 and to the right 1 spot. And then I'm going to do that again, down 5 and to the right 1 spot. And then to get some more points that go the other way, I'm going to do the opposite. So I'm going up 5 and to the left 1 spot and do that again. That way I can get a very nice, accurate straight line. Okay, now I also need to graph my bottom equation, which I'm going to do in green. So my y-intercept is -10. My slope is 4/1, which means I'm going to go up 4 and to the right 1. Now you might notice I just put a point right on top of a point that was part of my red line. That's okay. Okay, I'm going to keep counting up 4 and to the right 1. Make as many points as I can so that I can have a nice, accurate graph. And I'm going to connect my green points. Now, like I said, the solution is going to be where the lines cross or where they intersect. So right down here, when we put a point of our green line on top of a point of our red line, that was our solution because our lines were crossing. They were intersecting at that point. Okay, so I'm going to take that point and I'm going to make it purple so that it's really easy to see. Now, we do have a solution and we need to write that solution as an ordered pair, telling me exactly where these two things cross. Well, on our x-axis, these lines cross at the number 1, and on our y-axis, they cross at -6. So our solution to this system is 1, -6, because that's where our lines intersect each other. Let's look at just one more example. Again, I'm going to graph the top equation in red. So I'm starting with my y-intercept -4. And then I'm going to go up 1/3 for my slope. And again, I'm doing that as many times as I can so that I can have a nice, accurate line. And now I'm going to even go back and do the opposite so that I can have even more points. We always want to be as accurate as possible. Okay, now my bottom equation I'm going to do in green. Ooh, but my bottom equation is not in slope-intercept form. It's not y equals like our other equations were. So we need to make this equation be y equals. I need to get the y all by itself. So I always do the opposite of the x first. So that will cancel. 6y is going to equal -24 plus 2x. And now I'm going to divide everything by 6, all of the numbers by 6. So y equals -4 plus 2 6x. Okay, so now I can graph it. My y-intercept is -4. Again, a point on top of my red line, that's okay. And now my slope is up 2/6. So I'm going up 2 and over 6. Oh, that made another point on top of my red line. And then if I go the other way, if I go down 2 and to the left 6, that makes another point on top of my red line. My green line is ending up exactly on top of my red line. So that means my two lines, they're intersecting each other everywhere. They're constantly touching. So what that really means is that we have infinite solutions. So I would need to, next to this graph, go ahead and write infinite solutions because these lines cross over and over and over. And as a reminder, if you ever do a system, you're graphing it and the lines never ever touch, then you would need to write no solution if the lines never touch.